Assalamu alaikum. So this evening I am going to do a reading from a chapter in a book that I'm writing. It's a short excerpt. The title of the chapter is called What's in a Name? A Tale of Two Alis and Three Muhammads. And it is from a book that I'm working on. It's chapter 3. The book is called When the Revolution Comes, Dispatches from Harvard to Africa. This thing is shaking a little bit. Okay. So the book is called What's in a Name? The chapter is called What's in a Name? A Tale of Two Muhammads and Three Alis. And this is the beginning of it. The book has 8 chapters to it, and they're essays that are lyrical and braided chapters, so they go many places, and this is the beginning of it, which starts with a scene about Muhammad Ali's life. It begins with an excerpt of a verse from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 231. And he taught Adam the name of all things. Then he placed them before the angels and said, Tell me the name of these if ye are right. What's in a name? A tale of 2 Alis and 3 Muhammads. Muhammad Ali is in the ring shouting, What's my name? He keeps repeating it. What's my name? With each call and no response, he gives one of his own. He lands leather glove jab after leather glove jab on his opponent, stunning. Pop, silence. What's my name? Repeat. Not a scratch is on Ali. He is flawless in the moment. But his opponent, the soft-spoken Ernie Terrell, can barely see, so swollen are his eyes. Ali has promised to punish him for not calling him by his chosen name. And punishing him he is. As the bell rings, ending the 14th of 15 rounds, Ali stands still, seething. His arms are down by his sides, gloves touching up against the single blood-red strips vertically adorning his lily-white Ampro boxing shorts. But his spirit is anything but still. He is full of anger. He punches his face forward like it is a deadly weapon. As it extends beyond his body, poking in the direction of Terrell, he shouts, again, the white of his mouth guard flashing the crowd, What's my name? And his eyes are so full of fire, they could light the gates of hell. It all started, the hostility. A little more than a month before the jeering, sneering, and cheering crowd of nearly 40,000 witnessed the brutal beatdown of Terrell inside the Houston Astrodome that February 1967. It all first went south in the stuffy publicity office of the boxing department at Madison Square Garden, more than 1,600 miles away, in a crammed space that was made even more congested by the camera equipment and members of the press, all closing in on the 2 towering fighters, pushing microphones to get their every word. Imagine 25 people all packed into a boxing ring. Now subtract even more space and you have this scene. Still, the mood was light at first. Ali, in his usual no-nonsense but pretty boy stance, had just recited a poem boasting what he was going to do to Terrell. No matter that it was bordering on the doggerel, he was as confident as ever. He said, He may come into the ring looking awful neat, but he's not cool. They'll carry him out on his feet. Terrell had just made a joke about Shakespeare turning over his grave. It was all in good fun. It was all to promote the Garden's first of its kind closed-circuited showing of the big fight on a 40-foot screen. And then Terrell made the purposeful error that set off the heavyweight champion of the world. He referred to Ali by his birth name, Cassius Clay, knowing full well that Ali considered it to be a slave name. There was no way Terrell could not know. Ali had been telling anyone who would listen. But no matter what Ali said now, Terrell made no move to take it back. Why don't you call me by my name, man? Asked Ali, all playfulness drowning from his countenance. Well, what's your name? You told me your name was Cassius Clay a few years ago, responded Terrell. Terrell, who had gotten close enough to Ali to be considered a friend, who had even once spent an overnight stay in the home of the Muslim fighter's parents, was now trying, as he would explain years later, to throw off Ali's rhythm. It was a dangerous game. I never told you my name was Cassius Clay, retorted Ali, his voice steadily intensifying by the syllable. My name is Muhammad Ali, and you will announce it right there in the center of that ring after the fight if you don't do it now. They would have to wait for the ring, after all. Terrell had resolved to call Ali him, rather than call the prize fighter Muhammad Ali. He would do that, he said, for the benefit of the broadcast. This only incensed Ali more. Hadn't Terrell already done enough with his nonchalant and unbothered retort to Ali's pointing out that even the lawyer-turned-sports journalist Howard Cosell, standing in between the two, conducting the interview, had addressed him by his chosen name, Muhammad Ali? Why you gotta be the one of all people whose color to keep saying Cassius Clay? The barely 25-year-old Ali asked. It was clear in the snap of these words that Ali's patience had begun to fade. The unbridled agitation, no longer just percolating, was not going to be easily contained, and yet his opponent remained unmoved. Howard Cosell is not the one who's going to fight you, I am, responded Terrell. With that, the camel's back was broken. Terrell was doing the white man's bidding, refusing to acknowledge Ali by his name, continuing to call him, as a black man, what he had told the whole world was a slave name. Ali was sure of it. You just acting like an old Uncle Tom, another Floyd Patterson. I'm gonna punish you. Ali's threat to punish Terrell, like he had done in the ring to Patterson 2 years earlier, for refusing to call him Muhammad Ali, did not have a chance to hang in the air like some of his other landed verbal blows. Uncle Tom, well, those were fighting words to the 6-foot Terrell. Suddenly, the Madison Square Garden room seemed more like a boxing ring than the office furniture-filled business space that it was high above 8th Avenue in Manhattan. You ain't got no business calling me. Don't call me no Uncle Tom, man. That's what you are, an old Uncle Tom. Ali's lips began to tighten and curl just in the slightest bit as he spoke, the first sign of an impending pounce. The next aggression was more overt. He sucked in his entire bottom lip, a sure indication of an imminent attack, like a resource-guarding dog, reflexively baring its teeth in the final precursor before the battle. If Ali had put up his dukes, it could not have been more clear. But no one else in the room, except Terrell, of course, seemed to be picking up on the signs. They were all too busy being entertained, perhaps thinking it was all a part of the promotion. Back off me, Ali began to shout over and over. Terrell had leaned in too close for Ali's comfort. He would not back off him. The men grabbed for each other. A rush of men moved to pull them apart. All the while, Cosell, a sly grin plastered eerily on his face, continued to stand between them, as much as he could, of course, as he was being jostled about by the fracas. The WABC TV microphone he wielded back and forth, trying to catch their every word, remained his only protection in the melee. The only common sense thing for Cosell to do was to jump out of the way as the two boxers continued to lunge, as Ali continued to shout, but Cosell, he wanted to get it all. Another interview recorded for posterity as the two gentlemen continued to promote the fight, he reported. Ali's continued shouts to Terrell of "back off me, man," and Uncle Tom having no effect on his calm. It took the sports journalist dangerously too long to rethink his place in the moment. Finally, he wisely gave up on capturing the voice of the madness, but not the moment. "Keep shooting," Cosell instructed, not skipping a beat. The next day, a New York Times journalist, favoring Terrell's position, dubbed it an ugly and tense moment. Indeed, in his article, he only referred to Ali as Cassius Clay. He made no attempt to understand where the anger was coming from. though quite a bit of focus went to Terrell's feelings and dignity. It was hard not to feel bad for Terrell. But if calling one black man an Uncle Tom was part of the ugly, bringing to mind enslaved black men purposely made to flunky for their white masters, then where was the disgust with continuing to call another black man a name that he associated with the worst period in American history for black people too? Why allow Terrell his wakening rage, however so soft-spoken, over being called out of his name, but not Ali? Why was not Ali's anger rooted in the awareness and the woundedness of his black brother being the only one, even over the white men in the room, to disacknowledge his sense of freedom from the damaging social, moral, and intellectual legacy of such devastating centuries of destruction of black life on American soil? Or was that not ugly too? So that's an excerpt from the essay titled, "What's in a Name? A Tale of Two Alis and Three Muhammads." And it discusses the story of Muhammad Ali and his name, the story of Nicholas Said, who was his name was originally Muhammad Ali bin Said. He was an African-born Civil War soldier who came to America a free man and fought in the Civil War, and also the history of my own family name. Thank you.